Good Monday night, Dave Burman on Delco Sports 360.com, right here on cmpradio.net. Special guest, Pride of Chester, Delco League Summer Baseball, one of the longest, the oldest amateur / semi-pro baseball league in the country. Delco League baseball legend, it's Johnny Gonzalez. And Johnny, thank you very much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And you have had an 11-year career, you said. Right now you're 50 years young.
Yes.
And 11 years in the Delco League, and you just announced your retirement.
Yes.
That's hot, fresh news right there. Yes. Why are you retiring, Johnny? You have a rubber arm.
No, I figured, you got to hang up sooner or later. So, this year, like any other year, you start losing a little bit here and there, but you're still effective. But, just rather get out, while I can, and then just concentrate on umpiring, which is another thing I'm doing next year.
Yeah, and you played with some great coaches, great teams.
Yes.
The last, how many years have you played for Upper Darby? And my nephew's also played for Upper Darby.
If I'm not mistaken, I played for Upper Darby for 7-8 years.
And you won the championship the summer of 2021 Delco League.
Yes.
Best of 5. You beat Aston Valley.
Aston Valley, correct.
Aston Valley, basically Aston. And then Wayne is just unbelievable, and their manager.
Oh, they're tough. They're tough.
Yeah, Brian Feely, and he is a Delco legend, Upper Darby High School grad, 93, multi-sport athlete. We're going to talk about what you did over the years. You play all kinds of sports, but yeah, Brian's the manager of Wayne. They won it again this year. Best of 5 championship series, and they won the first 2 games, their home games at Devon Prep. You guys play at Cardinal O'Hara High School. You won the games at O'Hara, came down to a 5th and deciding game, and they just the Mathis boys from Marple Newtown, they're very tough. And why was and they beat you 6-0 in the championship? Why is it so tough to beat them at Devon Prep High School?
Well, for one, it's a home field, so no matter what, they get their last at bat.
Yes.
And they came to play, and they're a strong team. They're probably they're stronger this year than they were last year.
And they get some great kids, but your manager, Dave Jordan from Upper Darby, recently inducted into our Delaware County Athletes Hall of Fame. So what a great manager he is. But it's always tough going up against Brian Feely.
Yes, it is. And it's with the team this year as opposed to last year. Last year, you can go, okay, I'm going through the lineup. I can attack this guy. I can take all, concentrate on 4 or 5 players. This year, it was like, no, it's like you gotta make sure you make your pitches to everybody.
Yes.
As opposed to, previous years.
It's amazing what you do. And Jack McCaffrey of the Delco Times did a great article on you recently. He's the greatest. And I'm glad he's sticking around. Terry Toohey has covered you. And how do you do it, Johnny? What's your secret? And I know you could keep on pitching because you're hard to hit. You're kind of a junk ball guy, but you can throw it in there fast too.
Basically, I call it the Jamie Moore syndrome.
Jamie Moore, world champ, Phillies 2008, Pennsylvania guy also,
yes,
from Souderton.
When he came up with Seattle, he was a flamethrower for his era. He was a mid-90s guy. But then as he aged, he had to develop, to stay in the league, a way to pitch and still get people out. And he went to the junk ball, went to all the speed stuff.
Well, you're going to be missed, okay, but you're still going to be keeping active. How did you end up, and the question is, and people are more than welcome, but we get some comments here to chime in with Johnny Gonzalez. How'd you end up in Chester, Pennsylvania?
Well, I was born in New York. Both my parents are Puerto Rican. When I was born, I had a condition with the asthma. So I had to go to a tropical place. My dad said, I'm going to send you to my mom's house. And figured it was going to be for a little time and ended up being for 10 years. And my grandma basically took care of me until I was 10.
And did you said you lived in Chester County for a while. Chester County, Oxford?
Oxford, yeah.
So you started in Oxford from New York?
No, I started from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
I went to Puerto Rico. I came here for about a month, and then I went to live with my dad in Oxford.
And that's...
and I was there for probably 6 months.
And then you ended up in...
And then I ended up in Chester with my aunts and uncles.
So, and you were telling me how you love basketball. That's another sport. And you played pickup ball with a lot of, not only basketball plus football, but a lot of Chester legends.
Yes.
And you had some great stories that we were talking about before the show, and guys like Jamar Shaw, guys like Zane Shaw, Hassan Muhammad, among others.
Yes, tough guy, tough guy to guard. Tough guy
Hassan,
to guard.
because you're about 6'5", you said.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he has me, and he has me about 100 easy.
Haas was a sophomore on that 19.
And he can move for his size.
Oh yeah,
He can move, and he can shoot. So
great career. You know, his son, Jaquan Johnson.
Yes, I met him.
He beat. He played against Chester twice in the state finals in basketball. He played at Lower Merion. Chester beat him in 2012, and then they got revenge on us in 2013. Jaquan, so real nice young man there. So Haas, he was on the '89 state championship team for Chester, and we had guys like Keith Wood.
Keith played against Keith Wood as probably in my mid-30s in local leagues.
Zane from the William Penn.
Yes, plays against him like more street ball than anything else, but he was tough to guard.
And you were talking
because he was lefty too, so that's even harder.
And I'm sure he can still play. It's unbelievable.
Pretty sure he can.
And the Jamar Solo, we call him Solo subs, and he was a scrappy ball player too in the '94 state championship team, along with Ray Cal. Ray.
Solo like the Energizer Bunny. He didn't stop.
Right. How about Johnny Linehan? Did you ever play against him, the scrappy guard?
I knew Johnny before when he was younger, when he came up in high school.
Yes.
So because he was from the area, but I knew him.
And
I got to see him when he went to Providence.
All time to this day, still the all-time steals leader, NCAA men's basketball.
So then after he went to Providence, I haven't seen him since. Basically.
Well, speaking of John Linehan, I want to this is a hot, fresh news also. Congratulations going out to all those being inducted into the Chester High School Sports Hall of Fame. It's going to be this fall. First banquet since 2019, induction banquet, including the 1994, that Clipper PIAA State Championship basketball team. Alonzo Lewis was the coach.
Yes, I remember Alonzo.
And then the PIAA 94, 30 years already. Girls track and field championship squad. They won this. It was Chester, that 93-94 season, 2 PIAA state championship teams. Now, individually, let's run down who's going into the Hall of Fame. It's going to be November the 9th at the ballroom at the Phoenix Booth Wynn, right next door to Chichester High School, the field there. So the running individuals, Johnny Linehan is going to be inducted, well-deserved. Maurice Nelson. All right.
I know Maurice Nelson.
Jameer's brother, Mo, he's still playing. He's getting up there. He's got some kids running around. They're going to be great young athletes already.
I got him by like maybe 2 years.
Mo?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then Andre Kennard, he goes back to my day, football. Ronell Williams, who graduated in 2010. He played for Westchester and almost made the NFL. He coached at Westchester, did Ronell. Okay. So he's going into the Chester High Hall of Fame. Anthony Davis was a great athlete, Widener. And then we have Asuni Blackwell. He played for Chester, but I think he graduated in '98. He's going in for baseball and football, Suni, but he also played basketball. Shake Allen. You know Shake, the track coach?
No.
He's
if I see him, I'll probably know.
Okay, so he just had an individual state championship. What a great story he has. He's going in. We have Maya Nelson, girls basketball, tremendous player. Rihanna Johnson, track and field state champ back in 2009. Wayne Wells wins the Lawson Showell Award. Rihanna Johnson going in for track, Maya Nelson girls basketball, and Raylene Pierce, Fred Pickett Award. She does all kinds of stuff with Ralph Dorsey.
I know Dorsey very well.
Chester Biddy League, and we'll talk more about that. So again, if you want tickets for this banquet, call Mark Freeman at 215-768-2432. We're also having our 6th banquet here, our 6th anniversary banquet for CMP Radio. That is coming up very, very shortly. I want to get to that information. CMP Radio. I have it. It's going to be here at the banquet. It's a black tie affair, and it's coming up on Saturday, September the 9th, right here at our studios, 114 West 5th Street here in Chester. Tickets on sale. Starts at 6 o'clock, goes till 10. Visit cmpradio.foundation.org to purchase your tickets. Black Tie Affair, CMP Radio's 6th anniversary, honoring community leaders and a bunch of them. And we'll get to that down the road. But anyway, back to Johnny Gonzalez. So you moved to Chester, and what did you do? Tell me about your schooling.
Oh, so when I went, so over here they got bilingual at the time, so I ended up going to Columbus Middle School. Finished there, ended up going, so from there I went from Columbus, I went back to Puerto Rico, came back, and then by the time I was in junior high, I went to Smedley.
There you go.
And Smedley, of course, with the language barrier at the time, which I'll speak better.
You speak great English?
Now I do without an accent, but back then,
tough. Huh?
I learned how to read through reading the newspapers, because I used to buy the newspapers every day.
Oh, wow, nice.
So my biggest thing was the sports section. That's the first thing I learned. So, and I had a teacher, Smedley, called, his name was Mr. Bostic, I forget his first name. And, he was a guy that I would go after school, and he would help me. Like if I had words that, I don't understand this word, and he would, basically help me out. He was a nice guy. I don't know if he's still around now, but if some of the audience here probably that went to Smedley probably know who I'm talking about.
Right. And what year are we talking?
We're talking 85, 86,
85, 86. All right. Okay. Did you grow up like idolizing some of the great Chester football and basketball teams back then, or a little bit too young? Or?
No, I was too young. Back then I was too young.
They had some great ballers back then.
Back then I was just trying to make money.
Right.
But being in what happened with middle school was that you get that introduction that you're going to the high school. So I wanted to play baseball, and at the time somebody told me, you might not be able to play because of your age, and I was good for my age. So I wanted to go in as a freshman. If they would let me go in as a freshman, I wanted to the high school. But the coach was like, I don't play freshmen. So I'm like, I don't got time then.
Who was the coach back then?
I have no idea. I don't remember the coach's name.
So you did graduate Chester High?
No, through GED.
Gotcha.
Through GED.
So you would have graduated in
I would have graduated 92, 93.
92, 93. But all these guys, all these athletes you've been playing. Tell us about, you played all over the place in football and basketball and street ball, 7th Street courts.
Yes.
Recently reopened.
So one of the first guys that I knew, and I don't think he played high school ball, but was Mo Myers, a little short guy.
Don't remember him.
He lived, my aunt lived on the same block. So he was the first group of guys that played basketball that I grew up with.
Right.
So, through the years, played Little League and then, moving around. Once I came in my 20s, I started playing, local, pickup. I used to go to the old YMCA.
Oh,
that's why I got my name. That's why I met Big Haas. At
the Y.
Yeah, got to play against Alice. So, quick story. So, the Y used to be open, for basketball rec. So, I used to always go there, but everybody always had their guy. So I forget who ran it. He was a little short lefty guy, little pudgy guy. I forget his name.
Oh man, I know, and Sid Russell. Was it Sid?
I don't know. No, I don't think it was Sid.
Oh man.
Number Snap.
Don't remember him. So I was out of the area for a long time.
He's another basketball guy who was a little bit older than me.
What's his name?
I forget his real name. Snap. I just know him by Snap. Could shoot the ball. So, anyway, I'm just hanging around there. So, they always had their 5 to start with. So I guess one of their 5th didn't start. And I'm just standing like, hey, you want to play? Because they see me all the time. Like, yeah, I'll play. So I go over there and, run around, rebound, do this. And it's like, how come you don't shoot? I'm like, because I've seen you guys shoot. You guys are the shooters. Right. So I just basically played a role. Then after that, started playing with them. And then I started, getting everybody, starting to realize who everybody was. And then everybody, because I grew up on the East Side, so guys from the East Side, like, hey, don't you remember me? You lived here, lived there. Like, yeah, we used to do this and then. So then, as you get older, you start meeting them, and you start going to basketball. start going to Ridley, start going to Sharon Hill.
All
start
over the
playing,
place,
going
yeah.
all over the place to play. And that's how I started meeting everybody.
Did you ever play against the late, great Rap Curry? He went to Penwood. He graduated in 1990.
I don't remember him.
And
Because we used to also go to Prospect Park.
Interborough area.
Yes, off of 420.
Wow.
I forget what they called that area, but they used to be. You had good basketball players.
So when you played pickup ball, were you tall? One of the taller guys out
Yes.
there. Very, is physical.
Yes.
So you could play physical also.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
I just make sure I stood away from elbows, kept my distance.
Right.
I always played at a distance, but with closing speed.
And you have a messed up hand here,
yes,
and that's from regular work.
Regular
And
work.
where do you work?
Fasano Brothers.
Fasano Brothers.
Yes.
Isn't that red?
No blocks, concrete block.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
right there off the Chester
That's a
Park.
tough job.
Yeah.
A lot of lifting.
Well, it keeps you in shape.
Oh, it does. Like the warehouse, you're
Keeps
running
you in
around.
shape.
But I don't know if I have to do. I have to
You don't have
set
to go to the gym.
boxes. I still like to go to occasionally do.
Yeah,
do
I can't do the gym. Because I'm always on my feet.
Well, how are you staying you're staying thin? A lot of people ask how to because I lost a lot of weight from diet and working out, hitting
Metabolism.
the weights. Metabolism.
Metabolism's high. I tried to, back when I was about 24, because I was trying to pick up weight to play baseball. And I talked to some doctors, and they were like, we can give you every pill in the world, but your metabolism is too high.
There it is.
So
There it
then
is.
he's like, well,
There's Leslie.
Then he was like, don't worry about it. When you
Right.
when you turn 35 to 40, you're gonna wish you didn't want those pills because you're gonna be heavy. I'm 50 now. I'm still the same frame.
So you played baseball with my brother Steve. I'm
Steve,
the old.
yes,
I'm
I played against Steve.
Steve's
Back in-
65. He was about 62, 63. So Steve was a good ball player.
Back in '93.
Back in '93, Steve. Yeah.
Because he used to play with Proclaims or Habwork at the time. He used to play with Bob Brown.
Oh, Bob. Yeah.
Bob Brown.
Wow. I just saw Bob about 80 years young now,
Yes.
right? He looks good.
He was. I looked at the newspaper, seen a team that was looking for players. Played the fall. Next thing I know, I'm playing against your brothers.
Yeah. Oh, you played against them or
Yes,
with?
no, against them.
Now, who had the Marty's a little crazy?
Yes.
We're all kind of crazy playing sports, but Steve, was he pretty mellow or?
No, he was pretty mellow.
Because he's pretty mellow. Marty is, has some
Yes.
anger management
I
issues.
always talk to him.
I gotta bust his chops,
I
because we know.
always try to talk him down. I always
Yeah.
try to. He means good, but I got to talk him down sometimes.
But he did a great job this year because,
did.
all right, in one of the, I think it was Game 3 of the Delco League Championship Series
Yes.
a few weeks ago, Dave Jordan got thrown out.
Correct.
And then Marty took over, right?
Took over, yeah.
And Izzy Mena, another legend, used to
Yes.
work in our warehouse, by the way. But Marty took over, and you guys ended up winning the game. And what was it about Marty? What did he bring to the table? I mean, I want to. What does my brother do to get you guys motivated? Why he is a really good coach.
Yes. Well, he kept everybody loose, because I also try to keep the guys loose, stay loose,
No cursing, though, right?
No, well, a little bit of that, that always going to come with sports. You're going to curse.
And the umpires give you a break, right?
Well,
I mean, as long as you're not.
they gave me a break that day because I thought I was throwing some strikes in there, and there was a couple I thought over the plate, but I didn't verbalize it.
Right.
I just basically did the walk around.
Oh, they don't like
meaning,
in baseball,
I want to curse, but I'm not going to curse.
some of the worst are sometimes I think the best fights are Major League Baseball brawls.
Yes.
These guys are crazy.
Yes.
Because you're probably all pent up, and the guys from the bullpen come running in, but you don't have many of those in the Delco League.
No.
No,
We've had since I've been with Up at Dog, we probably had an incident where it was a lot of argument. There was no punch thrown.
I can't, because they've got some tremendous baseball player. And we are in Delco, man.
Yes.
We're a little crazy when it comes to that. So Marty got you guys the victory. Good job.
Yes. and
Great
then
job.
We had to go back to Game 4.
So what did Jordan do to get thrown out, and which umpire threw him out?
Dan Irwin,
Don't know.
who I also work with during the year.
You work with him at
I
the block.
work with him during the year because we're co-workers.
So why do you throw
in high
Dave
school.
out? I'm just curious what it takes. What if you go to a coach and say, you suck? Can you get
Yeah.
thrown out of the game?
Yeah, I mean it all depends on the umpire.
Yeah.
It all depends.
How about balls and strikes? You can.
You can. Automatic.
Automatic, because I've seen that in
can-
major leagues.
you can
All it
automatic.
takes is major leagues.
Yes.
You ever watch John Boy? He does like
Yes.
He
Yes.
like rip.
That's why the guy
lip.
that's why the guys from Yankees always gets tossed.
Oh,
Even though he may be right, but
Aaron Boone. All
Yeah.
he has to say in the dugout, if there's a pitcher, he'll go, "Hey,
Come on, Blue, what was that?"
Joey Crawford, what's going on?" The
Yes.
Crawfords are in our Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they're from
Jerry.
they're from
did you ever- so I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
A lot of Delco guys are refs, are umpires and refs. So if a guy goes, "What are you doing?" He'll probably look over, give you a warning, right?
yes.
That was okay. And I don't know how much.
Oh no, he has some leash. They give him some leash.
They do.
Yeah,
All right.
he
Now,
has
what
some
did Dave do again?
Basically, question the balls, like balls and strike. Because I don't walk that many people, and I don't miss the plate by much. Even though when I'm missing, when I'm off, I don't miss by much. And it happened a couple times where, because I actually did it, and then got to a point where I actually said something, and I caught myself. And then when I did say something, like, wait a minute, this is not me.
Right.
So I had to go back a little bit, and then just
In that game.
in that game.
That-
So I just let's minimize it and just
Right.
don't say a word. Don't
So
say
he
another
threw
word.
Dave out of the game.
And they got
So,
thrown.
but Dave seems like a calm guy.
Nah, Dave can get here and there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How about
Marty.
Izzy? Oh, Marty. Okay. How about Izzy?
Izzy's pretty relaxed. Izzy's very relaxed.
Okay. All right.
Izzy's always been, ever since I've known him, he's always been around.
Yeah, but baseball. I mean, because Aaron Boone. I mean, I see manager of the Yankees. He's always on TV getting thrown out of games.
Yes.
And I think it's funny. And the one umpire, Laz Ortiz, got
Laz
back
Diaz.
at him. Oh, Laz Diaz.
Laz Diaz.
He got right back at him.
Yes.
He said, "What?" Because he said, "You stink, you stink." And then Laz says, "You stink. Look at your record." He
Yeah.
goes, and then a lot of
Yeah.
F words.
Well, it's just
were
the same
being
thing.
said.
Just the same one thing. The great Weaver from Baltimore.
Oh, man.
Remember that great clip?
Oh yeah. Oh,
With him and the umpire,
Don
like, I'll
Denginger.
deck you, and they were going back and
Yeah.
forth the same
and Tommy
thing.
Lasorda,
The
and
same
Dallas
thing.
Green of the Phillies, and some of the loudest
Oh, you-
crazy managers are the best.
But and that's one thing I do. I go to YouTube and I look at the past.
Yeah.
So you learn.
I do.
as you
My
go.
wife thinks I'm nuts, and she doesn't.
Oh,
Really,
same
she's
thing
not
here.
really into the violence thing, and I just
Yeah.
think it's amazing. I know the guys get fined.
Yes.
But it's amazing what you have done in your career. So, what do you now that you have retired from baseball,
Delco League baseball.
the Delco League? Are you going to try to play some other?
Yeah, I'll probably play Sunday afternoon. I got a team in plan to play with. I already talked to the guy. It's been in plan for like about a year.
Well, you know who maintains the Chester High baseball field is
Stefanik.
Johnny Stefanik.
Yes.
He was a great athlete. Lands down Alton back.
He's been trying to get me to play with him. I'm like, John, I'm not 50 yet. Now I'm finally
Oh, you
50.
got it, okay.
I'm finally 50. They moved up to 55.
We'll play on his team.
So I can't.
Why?
Age. Can't pitch. Got to be 55 or over.
Okay. That field, he does a great job for Chester. High.
He does. He does.
That field is Leslie. You've seen our baseball field, right? Chester High. I don't know if you've seen it. It's beautiful.
Every field. I've seen
right
him.
It's right across from the football field.
Yes.
Right across. It was Showalter. We're Showalters, and it's done by Johnny. He does it for nothing.
Yep.
But they let him play his.
I've seen him work on 3 different fields.
Buggy Field, which
That's the
is
one- that's the one
Sun
I-
Valley Aston
That's
Ice.
the one I started seeing him. When I first started seeing him,
Right.
and he was doing a great job. I think he got. Correct me if I'm wrong, or later or in the comments, but I believe he used to take care of Buggy Field. Then the high school decided to take over. Kicked out.
Any comments on there, Leslie? Can you see? I can't. I
He
can't
went.
see.
He went to Pencrest. He did the JV field, because we used to use the MSBL in the afternoons.
Right.
In the JV field, we used to love playing the JV field. We was like, oh, we're going to Pencrest. Which field? JV. Great. Oh, which field? Varsity. Because the varsity was in worse shape than.
Right.
And he used to maintain that. Same thing.
Chester has a great Delco
He
League
does-
program also.
Yes, he does it. Dan McShane.
Dan McShane, yep, he's won some championships before.
So-
And it's just amazing what these guys have accomplished over the years, especially the Delco League.
Yes.
Mr. Van Koski, you know him pretty well? Jim?
After every game, when he's there, I'll stay there for we'll talk like baseball for like another 20 minutes. I'm telling you, everybody's going. and we're still sitting there talking for like half hour about baseball.
Right. It's unbelievable. A lot of legends are still around that, but
Because he, like you say, he was a legend from back in the day.
no, Jim, yeah,
So he knows his stuff,
played at
So-
Chester High.
So and I do it a lot more when I'm doing high school baseball. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I've had some guys tell me, that's bad, because I like to get like coach's point of view, because as an umpire, you may have a bad day and not know it.
Oh, I know.
So if I get input, I work off of the input. That way I get better as I go, and it makes it easier for me, and it makes it easier for everybody else.
Do you referee or umpire yourself? You do any umpiring in other leagues? Or?
Yes, I do the Central. I actually have 4 Delco League games this year.
Wow. Okay, so
Even though I played in
you're
it,
full. You do PIAA officially.
Yeah. Yes.
I thought I heard that.
I do PIAA. I do where your nephew played, Interact.
Oh, Friend Central.
Friend
yeah.
Central,
Friend
Interact.
Yep.
So it's all the local high school leagues.
Yeah. It's great baseball in this area.
Oh yes.
So you go against Feely? Did you ever?
Yeah, I have Philly. I had his high school 4 times this year.
And what a great team that was.
Mm-hmm.
And a heartbreaker, just a heartbreaking loss. Losing in the state finals.
Their catcher, who actually beat me because he was on the team. Their starting catcher was on the Wayne team this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Strathaven.
So was Pac. And it's funny because, those kids, when they see me, they're like, you got the bases you to play. When I'm at the play, it's like, great. They're like, we like you back there.
So how many games a week do you do PIAA?
PIAA, I would say high school probably, out of 7 days, probably 6.
Do you do
Del Val.
like Malvern Prep and those guys?
Yes. Last year, I had the championship game at Villanova, Malvern Prep versus Haverford High School. I had to play.
Oh, wow. That's tough.
Talk about insane.
Do you
Talk
go
about being insane.
behind the plate?
Behind the plate, I had to play.
So you Ben Davis' son.
Yes, he was on that team.
What's he like? He seems like a great kid.
No, he like I see him do something. Like I seen what I want to see in kids. From one year to the next.
Right.
He actually improved his manners inside.
Yeah.
Because I get to see him in like summer leagues too. So I try to talk to him because he's going to move up.
Yeah, he's going to
So-
Louisville
Correct.
after this year, but Malvern Prep, he was playing basketball and football. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
but I think
if
he's
he
just baseball now.
just baseball now.
Yeah, I think there's a
and he's dad is Ben Davis,
Yes.
who played in the
played golf with him
with Ben.
on a Christmas Eve.
Did you?
Yes,
Where?
At Glen Mills Golf Course.
I heard they have a beautiful golf course.
I went there as a walk-on. I knew from going there all summer. I knew the cashier, the guy, the starter, and he's like, if you want to wait, Johnny, you can go by yourself now, or if you want to wait, I could put you with a threesome. You might like it. Sure enough, Glenn couldn't show up. They put me in Glenn's spot.
And Glenn's his brother. So
his
Ben
brother.
was golfing. And
I ended up playing with Ben.
How do you golf on Christmas Eve? You said.
It was like 60 degrees. So it was like 65 degrees.
Oh man. So he's. I'm sure.
It was like Christmas
golf's
Eve.
a
It was
very.
like Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve.
Hate golf. Not a fan. I hate to use the word hate. Use that. Just use it twice. It's just too frustrating for
Yes.
me, and I just.
I love it.
You gotta have
love it.
unbelievable discipline.
I love it.
Unbelievable. So Ben Davis now he's on TV. He's a good
Yes.
TV announcer.
Yes, he is.
I like the guy.
Yes,
You get some
He
people.
gets a bad rap for breaking a no hitter with a bunt, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
I missed that. Ben did.
I forget what. I forget who it was. He was in Seattle, I believe, at the time. And
Not Randy Johnson.
it could have been Seattle, could have been the Padres, but it was his last at bat. The pitcher was throwing a no hitter. He lays down the bunt, breaks up the hit. Everybody's getting mad, but I'm like, what are you getting mad for?
When you are the third baseman or first, you have to watch out.
And it
for
was
that.
like a 3-0 game.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you got to get on somehow.
Nah.
That's the first thing. Get on somehow, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, you're too young to remember, but Pete Rose had like a.
I remember Pete Rose.
Oh yeah, should be in the Hall of Fame, but whatever.
Yeah.
With all the gambling they talk about now, unbelievable. Anyway, so In 1978, the year before he came to the Phillies, he had a 44-game hitting streak, and then he was playing against the Braves. It was his last at bat, and it was over. He didn't have a hit, and Gene Garber threw him a change-up. Gene Garber was a pitcher for the Braves, pitched for the Phillies also, and he threw him change-ups. Man, it was a change-up, and people were a little irritated at that because they wanted to see him break Ted Williams' record, but it never happened. So yeah, that's awesome. So you,
I mean, 44 is not easy as it sounds.
So some of your highlights in the 11 years, do you know all the managers you played for? Can you run them down? Of course, you know.
Man.
How'd you get in
Nick DeCombe. I came in the league with Nick DeCombe.
Was Nick, he seems very quiet.
Yes. No, he tries to stay relaxed. He tries to stay calm because, you know, he gets a lot of stuff thrown at him. So he has to stay calm.
So he was, who was he?
The Black Sox.
Okay.
The commissioner.
Right. Yeah, he's a commissioner.
Yes.
Was he coach? He was a manager?
Yeah, he was a manager. He had the Black Sox team.
Well, they, you know, this league, Delco baseball, goes back to 1903.
Yeah, because I was 39 when I started.
And they have a great website, and they get a lot of publicity. The games are on the radio, or the internet radio.
And as of last year, we get interviews now on national television. Well, CBS 3 did an interview on me last year.
Yeah, tell us about that. Channel 3 in Philly gave you a shout.
So I guess because of the job of Terry, Dan, and the other writer for the Daily Times, McCaff.
Oh, Jack.
You know, with all the write-ups, the producer who lives in the area, guess seen that in the paper, got a hold of Nick DeCombe. So then he got my information.
What was this, last year?
Last year.
Last year,
During the finals. Because I beat Wayne twice.
Yes.
And we lost in Game 5.
Last year, too.
Last year, too.
Right, so back to
That's
back
when we
years.
lost 2 years.
So that was great being on TV, man.
Yes.
Well, now you're on TV now,
Yes.
but yeah, and these.
It was a great interview because when I talked to Don Bell, because Don Bell was the one, it was like 25, 30 minutes. But it was like from the first question, and I don't know if you ever seen an interview where I was almost kind of laughing through it. That's how the whole interview went. Just laughter, happiness throughout. Because he couldn't believe it. He's like, I just go on and throw.
He couldn't believe you're 50 years old, 49.
Yeah, 49 at the time, but, you know, just throwing in.
Well, hopefully you get back in. Well, you're going to try to play some, but the Delco League is highly competitive. Now, the guys, the younger guys, do they probably can't stand trying to hit off you.
Well, a couple of guys, there's
like you're going against Division I guys.
Yes. The guy who hit the 2 home run off me is going to Clemson.
All right, now who's your catcher?
The Mathis. Oh, Strickland.
All right, so do people know you're going to throw breaking balls all the time, or do you throw fast?
So what I do with my catchers is, like, I don't try to overanalyze it. So if he calls a pitch I don't like, well, instead of throwing it in strike zone, I just throw it like a strike and let it fall off.
Gotcha.
Or if it's a fastball, I just make sure it's out.
Right.
So I dictate if I want it to be a strike. He'll dictate what pitches to call. If I agree with it, I keep attacking with it. If I don't agree with it, I rarely shake off. I may shake off maybe 1 or twice a game, that's it. But if he calls it, you know, he calls it a change-up and I don't really want to throw for a strike, I'll bury it.
You're definitely old school to these guys. So
yes.
You have a lot of respect from everybody
yes.
in the league. Is there anybody? I don't think anybody dislikes you. Everybody, like when I give you a shout on Facebook,
oh yeah,
hey, my man Johnny Gonzalez, Rochester did a great job. You know, and then, oh man, they just love it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's good.
And that's what I keep trying to tell the kids is like I can't, like I won't be able to coach. I'll be able to coach high school, coach high school, anything like that. Which because I used to umpire Jersey too. So a couple guys knew that I pitched and actually, you know, had me talk to their kids, not work with them, because all the kids have talent. All the kids have the talent. The problem is, how are you going to use your talent?
You should be a pitching coach. I'm sure
yes.
a lot of people have said that to you.
I got offered a Chester coaching job 2 years ago.
Chester High.
And I couldn't do it at the time because when I was offered to it, it was already January. And I already had my umpire schedule
Right.
for the whole year.
So
So
if it's a paid job,
yes.
if it's paid, you can, maybe
So
you can
also
do it
about
again. Because Chester has a great, talk about, the history of Chester
Yes.
baseball.
My cousin played for Chester High School. Omar Negron. He played back in, I would say, middle 2000s. He actually blew his arm. So like I played softball right down the street right by the parking lot where the high school is. I mean, if you've ever driven there through Saturday, you'll see cars. They're out there playing. So me and my uncle, that's who I came up, idolizing as a baseball player because he was a beast in modified softball.
So what advice do you have for the younger, guys out there?
Stay patient. Stay patient. Minimize your damage.
The younger kids?
The younger kids to stay in control. The more frustrated you get, the more problems you run into.
When can you start throwing the curveball? Is that pretty much it? The change up curveball? You have to wait a little bit because, like in the little league, these kids 12, 13.
I will teach them how to throw slider before I teach them how to throw curveball. Because it's the same arm angle, same slot, and it's just a little. As opposed to a curveball, you got to almost come around. There's some ways you can throw a curveball.
I could have sworn I was watching the Phillies game against the Cardinals, and I forget the name of the pitcher.
You know who taught me how to pitch?
Who was that?
And I'm pretty sure you did it the same way.
Taught you how to pitch?
Taught me how to pitch.
And what year was this?
This was, I will say 80, 81, 82, 83.
And where's he from?
And I was basically 10, 11, 12.
Where's he from?
Played in the majors.
Timeout.
All three of them.
Is he from Chester?
No. But all three of them played in the majors.
And they're from Delco?
No. I learned from the White Gun, Nolan Ryan, and Roger Clemens.
You met those guys?
No.
Oh, you just watched them on TV. And they were all...
Because I knew...
yeah.
Because back then, we didn't have cable like we do now. Now we can watch any game we want.
Yeah.
Back then, you had games of the week.
Yes.
I never missed a game of the week.
So you're old enough to remember those too?
So that's how my batting stance copied. My pitching copied. And we used to use tennis balls to throw curveballs.
Yeah. When we were growing up in the 60s, we would play the wiki ball. It was like a...
Half ball?
Well, it was like a tire. It was like a part of a tire. It was black. And you'd throw it, and you had to hit it with a stick, and that really helped.
Well, it's like with bottle caps. We used to use bottle caps. In Puerto Rico, we used to use a broom. We used to go because I lived right in front of the ocean, so we got all beaches like all the black sand with the little pebbles. So we used to soft toss and just hit onto the ocean. Didn't have to worry about breaking a window. You could just hit away.
Hit away, yeah. And now you're a little bit too far from the Jersey Shore to do that, but you got the Delaware River, but we can't do that there, But the rich history of Chester, it's unbelievable.
And then we just, like I said, I tell the kids, you build up arm strength by throwing, but throwing correctly, not just throwing. Don't overthrow yourself out. On our team, we have guys that can throw. We have guys that can pitch. The problem is sometimes you overthrow, and by trying to give it a little bit extra, you're actually taking away.
Right.
But if you can throw 80, 90% constantly, give, take, now you're just adding two or three pitches to your fastball.
The other night, the Cardinal pitcher and against the left-handed batters, it looked like he was throwing the old what Tug McGraw threw, the screwball.
Yes.
Fork ball, they used to call it even back in the 50s and 60s.
Which now they call two-seamer.
So it's still going on.
Yeah, well, it just doesn't break as much because they don't throw it as slow.
He would throw it, and it was to because righty versus lefty. The lefty has the advantage as a batter. So, but it was curving. It would curve right at him and then over the plate.
Yes.
And but they don't call it the screwball anymore.
No.
What do they call it? Change-up?
They'll either call it a two-seam fastball or a sinker.
Have you ever met Jerry Crawford? Delco, just got in our Hall of Fame, long time, fiery umpire.
No, I never met him.
Major League Baseball.
I do know Joe. What's his first name? Sonny Pompelli.
Oh, I see him all the time at the LA Fitness. He's still working out. 81 years young.
When I lived at Sun Hill, I
Yeah.
lived on top of the street. His son lived on the bottom of the street. I used to hang with his sons when they were young.
Sonny's unbelievable.
And
He's an animal.
We used to go to Widener and just play three-man baseball. We used the bleachers as a home run, wiffle ball bat.
Yeah.
If there was a way to play baseball, I found a way to do it.
What a legacy he has. His dad was a police officer in Chester for many
Yes,
years.
his son.
No, but
Sonny's dad.
Sonny's
Okay.
dad
Yeah, that's
was
past
Chester
me.
police officer back in the day. I found some articles, man.
Yes,
Everybody loved it.
And he was
It's
my
hard to
principal.
love a police officer, you know, sometimes.
And he was my principal at Columbus.
Sonny.
I found out years later
Yeah.
because I remember the last name.
Well, he's there, and he's still at the gym working out. I'll send him the link to the show here. So yeah, and I can imagine him. He's a pretty intense guy.
Yes.
You know? But
He was. I mean, I've talked to him, you know, and I was probably 13, 14 at the time when I first met him. So that goes back years.
Unbelievable, man. So I've got a few more minutes. You played up some pickup ball against one of the greatest Chester players of all time. Went to Gannon and had a great career there. Division II. Kenny Tate.
Yes.
So you had a story with Kenny.
So I'm playing for the for the local neighborhood, East Side, and I think we were playing at Lamokenville when they first opened the court. So back
Lamoken?
then, Lamoken, yeah.
Yeah.
So they had it was a summer league, and you know I'm looking up, you know, guys trying to pass the ball, and I'm like, he's not shooting it. So I'm trying to get it, get it up the top, and I'm 6'5". Man. At the time I could, I was a good jumper, not a great leaper. I wasn't a great leaper. I could leap enough to dunk, but not a great leaper. But I went up and I just barely missed it with the tip of my finger. All of a sudden, I just see somebody flying behind me. I'm like, what is this? Kenny Tate behind me. Bam! I'm like, I looked at the guys. I'm like, I can't do nothing with that.
Right. Where about
Because
6'3",
he
6'4".
was a leaper.
And
could
he
jump.
is still working in the Chester Upland School District, and he's assistant coach for
Well,
the
one thing I
Clippers.
did-
Now Leslie's her brother Lamar Chase played. I don't know if you know Lamar. That's her brother. And he would have graduated. He graduated in 1998, but the basketball team was loaded. But Lamar was good. But
Yeah.
But yeah. So you know Kenny obviously. And,
Yeah, because I think Randy Mustabi was before him.
who's that?
Randy Mustabi.
Maltsby.
Maltsby. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Hey, that's a Hispanic in me. I don't know how to pronounce
wanted-
some names.
We won it. We're honoring the Chester Hall of Fame.
Played
announced
against them
today.
and played with them in local leagues.
Yeah, well, Randy Maltsby, 94 state champ with Ray Carroll, who we're having on the show in 2 weeks. Ray, he can talk. And,
Yes, he can.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
I ran into him. The last time I ran into him was here by the water department, and then I ran into him at Springfield. But they still
He's spiritual.
because everybody I don't get out much through the city like I used to, but I still run into people here and there. It's like, yo, don't you remember? And I'm like, because I remember a lot of faces, just the names sometimes I'm bad with.
Ralph Dorsey.
Ralph Dorsey.
Ralph, yeah. They finally got the 7th Street courts open up this summer. It was great. We had a great summer
Yeah,
league.
I had this happened to me when you were posting all this stuff, so I didn't have a chance. I was heavily medicated back then, so because Friday was my surgery, and it happened.
So what did you? At work.
Yeah, it worked.
What'd
Just a
you
freak
do again?
accident.
What happened?
Just thought I had a machine off, and apparently
Slice you up?
No, I thought I had a machine off in my hand. Where my hand was, there's rollers that pass,
Yeah.
and I thought that I had it high, and it just. Once I felt the tip, I'm like, oh, my hands were wrong. So I didn't lose. No.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Just, well, you look great, man. You're 50 years young, and we'll be keeping in touch.
Baseball and basketball is what kept me in shape.
Yeah.
So I didn't try to overdo it, And I gotta say I had basketball, not because I didn't go to high school or anything like that.
Jameer, did you ever play against him? Jameer Nelson?
Yes.
He graduated 2000.
We were
Well, you
playing-
would know him when he was.
I knew him when he was in college because he played at Pure
Joe.
Game League, St. Joe's, yeah. But they used to play summer ball in Pure League, and I played there 2 years. I was 37 at the time. I was like 35, 37 when I played there. And I played for Brazzelis.
Brazzelli.
Brazzelis, I think that's what the name was. But they were a pretty good team. But the only reason I played for them because, I normally went there to play pickup, so I had a membership. And I went there to play pickup that one day, and I didn't realize the league was starting. And next thing I know, they were looking for players. Like, you play? It's like, yeah. It's like, I got my sneakers and my shorts here. I got to go home. It's like, how long? I'll be back in 20 minutes. Went back 20 minutes. The guy liked the way I played. Didn't score many. Probably like the highest number of points I ever scored was 18. And I probably took like maybe 3 shots.
None of the Chester coaches used to bug you to play back in the
No, they were loaded. They already had the guys.
Yeah, I know. Well, could always use
But
a
I knew,
6'5".
I knew a lot of them. But I mean, I
Well, the late great Alonzo Lewis, and then they had Coach Pickett,
yes.
and they named the gym after him.
Yeah, at that time I had no basketball skills whatsoever. I used to throw a hook shot.
But
That's all I had, a hook shot.
What other characters? Rami Davis? Rami, you play against him? Because he graduated '98 also.
I probably did.
Linehan, we talked
Yes.
about that. John.
Evans, definitely played against Evans.
Oh, Pooh.
Pooh.
That '94 team, it's 30-year anniversary. They reminded me of the '93 Phillies. The Phillies didn't win the World Series. They went to the World Series, but they were crazy.
I used to hang out with 2 guys that from Academy Park, Aaron Brown and Washington.
Oh, Aaron Brown?
Aaron Brown.
Wow.
We used to play pickup games and played a couple leagues up in Sharon Hill.
Oh, he was a beast.
When they were in high school.
Yeah. They were, hopefully they get the program back.
And Danny Washington.
Yes.
They were both on the same high school team.
Yes, great basketball. Rick Pergolini, I think, was coaching. It was funny, in '94, Chester went, that's how good the Del Valle League was. Before that was Glenn Mills.
Yes.
In '94, Chester 4A won the state championship. Academy Park was state runner-ups to Joe Namath's alma mater, Beaver Falls.
And the funny thing is, because they were playing for the high school, so and the way I met them through was going through Prospect Park, 420. That's where all the players went.
Yeah.
Got to hang got invited to go play with Philly with them. Hung out with them, and I would go to their basketball practice. They always got basketball practice. Like get off work, go, and the coach would actually let me practice with them. It's like just I was like, I ain't gonna hurt nobody. Just play hard, but without hurting anybody. So that was nice.
All right, man. Well, I look forward to. We'll keep in touch, man. It's good to have you on the show. It's great.
I mean, it's sad that it's football season now. We're talking still baseball.
Well,
but,
I can talk. Well, it's the Phillies are probably going to make the playoffs, and we'll see what happens.
Planning probably going there maybe tomorrow or the next day. Might go to the game.
You went to a Phillies game last week.
Yeah, Friday.
Now, my coworker is 68 years old. He's still pitching. Steve Toller.
Yes. Oh my God.
So Steve
hard to hit.
Was Phillies batting practice pitcher from 1987 to 2006.
That's a career.
Yeah, and then he said something about I don't know if they let him go. Unfortunately, they had somebody else. Then they won the World Series. Well, in 2007 he was there when they. 2008 they won it all. Yeah. His last year 2000. But anyway, so he's still pitching and he's still tough to hit.
Yes, the curveball. He has a nice. Big looping curveball.
Yeah, he's still.
Trust me, I batted against him when he was probably in his 40s.
And I bet you he was a beast.
So
he gets a little fired up.
Yeah, and he can sneak fastballs.
He's very low key, but he'll be barking at him. Baseball's a tough.
Now, he's another one I told him.
And it's funny, balls and strikes, they just don't give you much room, man. Yeah. You got to be careful. You got to really. Watch it. Right
and like what I think what baseball did wrong with as soon as they put that box in there, they just ruined it. Because now everybody sees like that much, not realizing that much is probably an inch.
It's hard. That makes it tough for an umpire, But it is what it is. You got to deal. I do like they sped it up a little bit.
Yes.
They don't have a time clock with you guys, right?
No.
But these pitchers were taking like a minute to throw a pitch,
yes.
And now it's like it's
well, because it stops all their movement. Like a lot of pitchers have their little sequence where they gotta shift their leg. I'm like, that's the waste of energy for me.
You get the ball back and you see the timer up there, so they must know. And
I will be great. I will be great for it because I don't know if you ever see me pitch before.
Oh yeah.
But it's like I get the ball, I'm ready, and then boom, I get the ball, I'm ready.
Do you remember you're too young too young. Jim Cott was a pitcher for the Phillies. He had a great major league
that was
career,
my
left-hander, and games would last an hour and a half.
John Denny's probably the one.
John Denny, 83. Yeah.
John Denny.
So you do remember? Yeah, we went to the World Series that year, lost. We went to the World Series in '93, we lost.
Yeah.
Won the World Series 2018, the Phillies.
I remember '93 because '93 I went to the airport when he beat Atlanta and came back.
Yeah,
flew in.
Mitch Williams struggled a little bit, but Johnny, thank you very much. Johnny
thanks for
Gonzalez.
having me.
Back to Jack McCaffrey real quick before we get out of here. In the article, he talked about you, the heat of the summer, and you had a great quote. You just said, "I'm Hispanic.
Oh yeah.
I don't get bothered by the hot
Because
weather."
we're used to dealing with the heat. Not that I mean I didn't say it didn't affect me, but we just know how to deal with it.
Noodle wants me to ask you, Steve
What?
Toller.
Steve Toller?
He goes, "Is he still smoking?"
Yes.
Okay.
Not as much because I won't be pitching
Tough
as much.
habit to break. I never smoked.
Well,
Knock on wood.
that's my whole thing, and it was a running joke through the years because like guys that are playing the Delco league, and especially the young guys, because they don't see me do it as an umpire. You know, when I'm by the car.
you can't. Yeah.
But you can't do it when you're umpiring.
No.
But you know, like this year and last year, you know, like I'll throw an inning, go behind the dugout, light up. So one kid actually waited for me to go out. He's like, people told us about that, and not one of us believed it.
Oh, shit, they saw it in
But
first.
then, like, can't believe it.
Or
They
Richie
still
Allen, the great Richie Allen for the Phillies, or Dick Allen, whatever you want to call him. I mean, they used to smoke right in
Yes.
the dugout, major leaguers. And this is as late as the 70s and maybe the 80s.
70s.
So. Yeah, Leslie, you missed the good old days, some of that stuff. Are you glad you're young?
I caught.
Be
Yeah,
happy you're young.
Yeah, I caught like the back end of all that.
Yeah, and
So I was able to still enjoy it.
And I
But I'm
missed
still, you know.
And you talk to guys like my dad, who's 85. You probably know my dad, Harv. He used to come to the games here and there.
Yeah.
But anyway, he goes back into the 50s.
I remember
and-
Marty used to bring your nephews
Oh yeah,
when they were young.
Yeah. Now they're all. One's a big TV star.
Yes.
Now, Alex.
That-
And he gets millions of views. It seems like millions of people like his
Yeah.
comic stuff. It's kind of funny. So, Johnny Gonzalez, thank you very
thank you
much.
for having me.
Appreciate it. And nice studios here.
Oh yeah, real nice.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We got 10 more minutes. All
didn't
right. So, what do you?
I didn't think I was gonna be here that long.
So, what are you going to do for the? What do you got going on this fall?
Well, I was hoping to go to. I was supposed to go to York to play in the tournament.
York,
Pennsylvania.
where I
It's
went
a-
to college.
It's a
and
big,
worked in the radio. Spent 8 years of my life in York.
yeah, it's a big tournament that good players out there.
My brother Marty he went to York College. He was a good
Oh, he
baseball
did?
player out there. Yeah, he graduated in
I
1990.
thought he was local.
Was that?
I thought he was local.
No, Steve played at Philadelphia Pharmacy, which is now gone. It's gone.
Yes.
I forgot the name. Now I forgot the name of it again. But he's in the Hall of Fame. It was called Philadelphia Pharmacy back in the day. But Marty played out there. York has some great baseball.
Yes.
High school,
Yes.
college.
I actually threw a shutout. I won 2-0
Out there.
out there. But I also got lit up too.
So you're ready? You got a tournament out there?
Yeah, but I won't be going because I can't.
Oh yeah, now. Yeah.
No, I can't.
So how much longer do you have to rehab?
I won't know till tomorrow.
What do you think? What's your gut feeling?
Probably go back to work like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but the rehab's probably gonna be longer.
Yeah,
Because
right.
it's a break basically, break and break.
So you need to still do cardio.
Yeah, I'm still moving around.
You still do cardio. Yeah, you still walk and stuff and keep
Correct.
it going. But
I got a Chihuahua.
try to go see Chester High football play.
I was going to go there because I seen that you were broadcasting.
Yeah, it was a public
And
address and CMP broadcast.
Yes, and I was going to shoot up, and
Yeah. Well, maybe.
I took the perk, so I couldn't go nowhere.
But we have a home game. Well, we have a big game on the road Thursday at Cheltenham on CMP, and we didn't go well the other day. You know, we lost to a
Right.
very good Perkiomen Valley team, a 6A school bigger than us, 30.
First game.
Yeah, I know, and
First
a lot
one
of new, younger, still a very young team,
Right.
but we'll get it together. And then we play Phoenixville in a couple weeks, so I don't know. I'll keep you up to date when it's,
Yeah, I also had I seen an interview where you had the coaches,
Dennis Shaw.
the coaches for the high school, for the baseball.
Oh,
You had them early in the year.
right.
The assistant coach I threw out twice this year. I
Jamal.
had to.
Jamal, that's right.
I had to toss him
I
twice.
think he brought that up to me. Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, and it wasn't because it's like, you know, I don't mind letting you know what I seen. But when you ask me a question and I answer to you, and then I give you a little leash, you can't.
Yeah.
But the last one, this is a funny one. You know the golden rules about baseball, right? Things you don't do that'll get you tossed.
I just know you don't argue balls and strikes.
Besides that, so this one, I try to teach him, because I try to teach him as you go to, letting you know how the game should be, how to go towards a man, how to direct an umpire the right way. Because not all of us are the same. Some have short fuses, some don't. And that's the problem with that.
Yeah.
I mean, but I like to, give him pointers. I like to say.
So what do you say?
So we was at Chichester. So he's coming on walk. He didn't like a call.
The manager?
No,
John?
the assistant.
Oh,
The
for Chester.
assistant, yeah, for Chester.
Jamal. Yeah.
So he's coming from the first baseline, and then I seen him looking at me. So I'm thinking he's gonna ask me a question, which I don't care. So he just walks by with a smile, and then he goes with his foot and draws a line
Oh no.
by the plate. So I'm like,
You gotta go because Aaron Boone went nuts.
Yes.
On that.
But that's a goal. You don't draw
right.
a line. And then
And
he's
I know
like, why are you tossing me? I was like, I'm like, because that's one thing you never do.
Okay, when you strike out, you can't throw your helmet.
Some people will tolerate that because, like with me, I've seen guys, go throw the bat. You're not supposed to, but I understand the frustration of it.
Yeah, right.
So I give you a little bit of. Now, if you start cursing and keep going, then I'll toss you.
So you
But
can't.
if you just go dip and then just drop and then go.
What if
I'll give you leeway.
have you ever a guy like Johnny? Man, you're having a horrible game behind the. What do you do? I'm just throwing things out.
Nah,
there.
just
No, you
just keep going.
Okay. You don't want to get back in his face and say, "Well, you're having a horrible game yourself."
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't
all right.
do
That's
that.
what Laz Diaz.
No, because I actually
Right.
I did a Perky League, which is a good league, and this game I had a hard. I was caught a little bit below the knees, but nothing, up. So I couldn't make the adjustment right there. I kept finding myself in the same spot. So what I did was kept it there and just moved it down. So anywhere up here where it normally gets called or not, I just call it a ball. Just move the strike zone down.
So, who are some of the? Can you mention some managers that are really pretty tough? Are they all? Feely? Do you ever? Well,
Yeah, Philly's been good. Philly's good.
How about the Interact League? Those guys, Malvern and Haverford School.
Malvern? I have EA. I have Malvern. He questions me, but at the end of the day, he doesn't. He doesn't go. Well, he just talks to me
They're like the power.
because I talk to him. Like his pitching coach, the first time they ever had me, and Davis too had me. They didn't like how I worked. I guess they didn't like how I was calling it that day.
Right.
But after a while, I use my hand out.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk later. Between innings, hey, you got a question for me? And just talk.
Right.
That's all I want to do.
Central League.
No, I actually had a.
Del Central. Have you done any PIAA playoff games?
Yes, I had the championship game when Philly won. I had the third base
When?
this year. Up here when the districts.
The district.
The district championship. I was third base. I was a third base umpire.
Oh, that was against team from Chester County.
No, it wasn't Ruston.
No, it was.
They beat Ruston at home, and then they played
Plymouth.
Plymouth, I think. Was
No.
it Plymouth?
Where was the game? The game was at Plymouth.
No, it was the Villanova. Yeah,
It was a Villanova. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't remember.
So I mean, the best, the one game like I told you that I had that was,
I think it was Oxford.
and it was hard.
It's an Oxford.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even remember who the team was. It was a red team. I just don't remember.
Okay. So anyway.
But the hardest game I ever had to umpire was the Haverford Malvern last year. behind the plate.
Haverford School.
Haverford School, yeah.
Malvern Prep.
When Haverford School beat them, and I had the plate. And it was hard because...
Haverford beat them last year? Or?
Yeah, not this year that just passed.
Oh,
last year.
Yeah, okay, right.
And that was hard because one reason. And the reason was that I had like 4 or 5 guys that I did Little League, umpired Little League. And then I had guys that coached that I played against. And then I knew the parents from Leadham. Yeah. And then the same thing with Malvern Prep. Some of them kids played in Leadham too. And a couple of the coaches I played against. But we always got along. So, anything close, it wasn't come on Blue. Like you said, it wasn't come on Blue. No, it's come on Johnny. I'm like, this is the one time I prefer you say Blue.
I hope they pay you good.
No, okay,
because it's tough.
It's not easy.
It's tough.
It's not
being
easy.
official because you got that. Yeah, and when the fans get involved, that's when it's.
Fans are the easiest.
You throw them out.
Yeah, I can throw them out. Like I had one fan.
I can imagine.
And it wasn't. I probably had maybe 3 ejections, 2 of them being the Chester guy. But fans, I haven't tossed a fan since last year. Last year I probably had 2. The year before, when I first started, probably had like 8. And it was all foul. It got to a point where I was throwing out more fans than players or coaches. And it all had
high school. This is high school.
Yeah, high school, and it all had to do with the foul language.
What about Malvern Prep? Because the standards there are so high.
Because
they recruit the kids in. I mean, that's what.
When it's close, I'll give you a little bit of leeway. I'll give you an out to vet your frustration.
Right.
But once my hand goes up, it's over. It's done. And like a lot of coaches appreciate that. Because one of the toughest coaches I heard was the coach from Radnor.
Mark Jordan?
Yeah,
no way. Real Radnor high school baseball.
Yes.
Hey, he was at Marple Newtown.
Yes.
My former broadcast partner.
Yes. Yes.
Bald.
Yes.
Really?
I'm not going to mention the umpire. I'm not going to mention who I was working with, but I had the plate.
Mark's nuts and crazy, but I can't.
And I was told by my partner, you're going to go into this game. He's tough. He's tough on umpires. So, I'm already starting to develop the way I want to work. So, sure enough, there was a close call. I seen him coming up with his voice. I'm like, stop, not yet.
Let me look him up and show his picture. I know it's 8 o'clock. Mark Jordan,
yes.
Head coach,
yes.
Manager. Also did with the girls' basketball for many years.
But then when I put my hand up, he stopped. But now, ever since then, he's like, John, you got a minute? Walk right over between innings.
Right.
He asked me to answer, we just talk. Oh, thank you. Greatly appreciate it.
He'll talk your ears off. Is that him?
Yes. Let me see. I believe so. See, I need the hat and the uniform.
Oh, yeah, the hat. Okay. Yeah, so he was my broadcast partner when I did the basketball Delco hoops. All right, I'll send him a message.
Yes.
Is Johnny Gonzalez? How is he?
Well, you see on the write up, like I have, and like especially on Facebook, if you put someone, I usually get. If you notice, I get a lot of stuff from guys that out of the area, like North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Or when I tag you.
Yes, because I played against Dante Bichette.
Dante Bichette, yeah.
And he at 50, he's still hitting bombs.
Yeah, he was a big guy, man.
He's still hitting bombs.
Unbelievable. Well, Leslie, thank you for engineering. Jean Pierre, Delco Sports 360, and Johnny Gonzalez, and we can go on. Yes. And as I like to say, on and on and on. So keep up the great work and follow Johnny Gonzalez on Facebook. There you go.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. And we will see you in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks with Ray Carroll.